Hey everyone, and welcome to another movie review. Today we will actually be talking about Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer.
Hello there, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and children.
If you don't know already, this is a huge budgeted film that Christopher Nolan has done, and by all means, he nails it out of the park. Now, I have written down a lot of the actual actors and actresses who have played in this movie because there's a laundry list of them of huge, major A-list stars. And so, just to start off, yes, this is a biography or biopic film based on J. Robert Oppenheimer. And who plays him? Well, that is Cillian Murphy. Now, if you don't know some of these actors or actresses, I will be going ahead and posting a photo of them as I do the review. So some of them you may know just by the face. But again, that's Cillian Murphy, Emily Blunt, Matt Damon, Robert Downey Jr., Alden Ehrenreich, which if you know him through the Solo movie because he played Han Solo, Jason Clarke, David Krumholtz, who actually played Bernard in the Santa Claus films. Then you have Josh Hartnett, sorry. You have Alex Wolff. Of course, he played in Hereditary. He also played in Old, as well as Jumanji as one of the kids. You do have Florence Pugh, and then David Dastmalchian. If you don't know that name, of course, he plays Polka Dot Man in the Suicide Squad, as well as one of the Joker thugs in, of course, Dark Knight. Then, of course, you have Dane DeHaan, which, of course, is Green Goblin, or better known as Harry Osborn, in Amazing Spider-Man 2. That is a series that stars Andrew Garfield, as well as played in Valerian and Cure for Wellness, I believe is the title of that. You have Josh Peck, of course, from Drake and Josh. You have Jack Quaid, who is the son of Dennis Quaid, and he also stars in the Boys series. Rami Malek, Olivia Thirlby, Casey Affleck, James Remar, Gary Oldman as well. So those are some of the actors and actresses. Again, like I said, go ahead and show the photos. You may know some of them, you may not know. So yes, this film is about J. Robert Oppenheimer. Now, this film is 3 hours long, and it is very much needed. Honestly, I could have waited there another hour as far as a little bit more history and backstory on this guy, because he is kind of fascinating in the way. Now, when it comes to the storyline, it is based off of a book as well. So it's a great adaptation between the book to the movie. They did very well on that. We do learn Oppenheimer and where he's from, as well as where he's went to college and major universities, or studied abroad. And he basically brought, if I'm not mistaken, physics over to the US. It's one of the things that he specializes in. He actually brought it to the US, which we didn't have it prior to World War II. So that is a big deal all on its own. Now, it does continue the progression of where he is better known for, which is the creation of the atomic bomb. However, throughout that, we do have kind of like a two-story setup between two individuals. Of course, you have J. Robert Oppenheimer, and then you also have Robert Downey Jr.'s character that he plays, which is kind of like the antagonist of the film. And the beautiful things that Christopher Nolan has done, one is the fact that whenever it has, I want to say, his point of view, it's very much black and white sequences. So you get to see what he's done, kind of like went behind Oppenheimer's back a little bit, or kind of like his trial as well, versus Oppenheimer, where you see his story unfold in coloration. But when it's the two of them, sometimes it's black and white, sometimes it's color. But I kind of felt like when it came to either past with Robert Downey Jr.'s character or even the present, it was very much black and white. And it kind of helps with the timeline a little bit too, so it doesn't get you lost in a way. Now, in the very beginning, it is showcasing that Oppenheimer does show some allegiance to either left-wing ideologies back in the day, and as well as many of his friends, of course, as well as loved ones, brother, is part of the Communist Party. Now, if you're not familiar, back in that time period, think of it kind of like as a communist hunt during that time, where the US was very much looking for anybody who may have joined the Communist Party who's not pro-America, really. And it was a big deal. You can search it up in the history books, because Oppenheimer, and it'll show you throughout the story, that all of his crucial moments are kind of blocked a little bit, or it's a struggle to get through because of his relationship with those individuals. Now, Florence Pugh's character, Jean Hatlock, she is part of the Communist Party, as well as she is the mistress in this film. Now, it is somebody who Oppenheimer falls in love with in the very beginning, but it was a very toxic relationship. So, as the story progresses, he does fall in love with Emily Blunt's character, who is married at the time, but ends up knocking her up. She splits from her husband. Oppenheimer splits from Florence Pugh's character, Jean, and of course they get married, they have kids. But even in that case, both of them are very self-centered. Though Emily Blunt's character does want Oppenheimer to succeed in everything he does, she herself is very selfish as well. So as the story progresses, though, you do see her, of course, getting his back on certain things. She does forgive him for cheating on her once before. Again, going to that Florence Pugh's character. And that is kind of like what sets the point with trials for him too, is because he's getting all the entanglement with the Communist Party, or people who are affiliated with the Communist Party. When it comes to the storyline, it is very well paced out throughout the whole film to keep you intrigued. And one thing that I love Christopher Nolan that he did with this film is when it comes to the music, it honestly felt like a thriller where it kept you engaged with the film. It kept you wondering what's going to happen. Even though at the end of the day, we know the atomic bomb gets created. We know J. Robert Oppenheimer gets some sort of medal of honor, or not really medal of honor, but some medal from the president. So we know that what's going to happen, but it's the music that keeps you engaged and kind of wondering what's going to happen and keeps your heart pounding throughout the whole thing. And speaking of heart pounding, honestly, when it comes to the blast of the film, it does it beautifully to what could possibly be an exact experience when it comes to an atomic bomb blast, where it blows, everything is quiet, and then you have that instant reaction or that push that it when the atomic bomb goes off. Again, I'm not kind of knowledgeable in that frame, so if you know about it, click the link below. What is that technical term called? Because I want to know. But when it comes to the sound effects of it, again, beautifully well done. I know a lot of people were talking about the negativity behind Florence Pugh's character and the nudity and stuff. Honestly, when I saw the film, I didn't see anything worse in that film than what we have in today's standards. Honestly, it's pretty mild to some of the movies that are out there, even some milder than ones that we've had in the past. I mean, it kind of shows when people didn't grow up with the film Species. I don't know. But all in all, though, that wasn't a big deal, because one pivotal moment while doing the interview, J. Robert Oppenheimer kind of confesses in front of his wife that he did cheat on her. And through that, the wife, Emily Blunt's character, kind of pictures him now sitting in a room full of the individuals who are interrogating him, naked, but also Florence Pugh's character, them two engaging in sexual acts. So it kind of puts the mentality of where her character, or where the real life individual was at that time, as far as that phrase of what many individuals say is, I can't look at you anymore because all I can see is you having sex with that individual. That's exactly what this showcases. So even then, that was a very beneficial in terms of seeing the psyche of Emily Blunt's real character, or Mrs. Oppenheimer, really. So again, don't know what all the hubbub is about, because it's nothing different than what we have today. As far as the pacing of the film, like I said, it was very well done. All the actors and actresses did beautifully. And in all retrospect, I do hope that this does get some Oscar nominations, Golden Globe nominations, because Christopher Nolan absolutely deserves it. As well as the score and sound effects, like, he does very well in this film. So much so that honestly, it's right up tier with many of his previous things, like Memento or Dark Knight, or specifically the Dark Knight trilogy, honestly. But if you guys have seen it, great, leave a comment below. But I want to hear from individuals who are seeing it for the first time. So if you did see it for the first time, leave your comment below. If you are looking to go see it, please see it in the theater, because the sound effects, there's nothing like at home that can provide you the experience like a theater can. So it is a limited time. I don't know how much longer it's going to be in the theaters. So by all means, go check it out in theaters. I highly recommend it. Seeing it on the biggest screen that there is, because it is beautifully done, especially cinematography. So like I said, leave a comment below, follow us on all social platforms, and we'll see you next time. for the next review.